Hey everybody, and welcome to another model building workshop. We're going to continue working on the T-55AM. This is the old ERTL kit, and we've been working on this for a little while now. But I want to take a brief moment to talk about some of the other variants of this kit that are out there. This is the older kit. So there's also this one. This is just the T-55. This is also an ESCI kit, ERTL kit as well. So this is slightly different, as you can see. Well, the quick version. This one has the anti-aircraft machine gun on the turret, and the original T-55 did not. The other difference, which is kind of hard to see, but is around these turret hatches. The T-55A had extra protection around the turret hatches, which helped seal the tank from biological, chemical, and radiation, so as to help protect the crew and seal the tank up in case of attacks from any of those types of weapons. So there's other versions. So the 55 kit, pretty much the same thing. There's a few differences, but not many. And this kit came with decals for, so you can see there are decals here for the Russians, the East Germans, the Czechs, and there's a Syrian one there as well. You can see those. So there's a bunch of different options, and some fun paintings options, like this one's quite colorful. So that's one. So that kit's out there too, from the old ESCI kits. And it has been repackaged. This has got a 2003 date on it. So this is Italeri. Basically, they bought the molds from the old ESCI ERTL kit when ESCI ERTL kind of went under. And so this is the 55. But what they did, which I really appreciate this, is that they combined in this kit, they combined all the different variants into one, so that you could do a 55 and a 55A. So, I'll show you this. So in the instructions, you can do one, let's see, Russia in the 1970s, Russia in Prague in '68, during that crushing of the Czech uprising. So that's there. And then they had a variant for Yugoslavia in '89, basically leading up to the conflict going on in Yugoslavia when it split into separate countries. There's one from Finland, 1986. And then we get into more from the Yugoslav Civil War here with the two Croatian versions, which are very colorful as well. So that's all included in this kit. So it has the options if you want to do the turret. Yeah, it just does a good job showing it. If I can hold all of this. See what I mean about the original instructions? And this is not even as bad as the ESCI ERTL one, but I'll show you that in detail in a second. But so you get the three different turret types that would have gone for these different modifications of this tank, with machine gun and not machine gun and so forth. And okay, well, we're talking about the instruction sheet. This is the original ESCI ERTL one, which I think I showed you before, but this is like a map. And that's why I had done the photocopied versions of this for the kids, because this is like we're driving to California from the East Coast, is what this reminds me of. Look at this. So that's kind of hard to work with, at least in my mind. And then you get these, I know I'm getting you dizzy, right? And you get these blown up diagrams, which, I literally blew them up on the copier and separated them so we could target one particular step at a time, because I don't know, I'm not a big fan of that. All right, that said, I'm going to talk about some other aftermarket, as they call them, modifications you could do to these kits. So I'm working on one here, which I'll probably show you more about how the work goes on this in a second. But this is a T-54 turret, which is the earlier variant to the T-55. The most notable difference is that it had this vent fan up here on top of the turret. That's probably the big difference. This one also has a different back of the turret, which has got a sloped feature here. So this is the early turret. You know, there's a different engine piece that you could put in. I think I mentioned this in the previous episode for the different engine grill. So this is the MB models conversion kit. I picked this up quite a while ago when I bought these kits originally. And it also has a different gun barrel. So this has, you can see that there's no fume extractor on the gun barrel. That's just an early straight gun barrel. And later ones had this fume extractor here. Actually, this photo probably does a better job of showing it. There's an Iraqi version, which I am debating doing this version. And you can see the fume extractor. And the Iraqis tend to paint the fume extractors different colors to signify different regiments. So that's the MB models one. And what you do is they give you pieces to do this, and then you would add parts from the other kit. So you can see that it's got the turret hatch from the ERTL kit there. And this you got to put together. This is a resin block. You can see I had to drill out spots to put the grab handles here. And resin's a lot more difficult to work with because you got to use super glue to put that together. I'm not the biggest fan of super glue, but I'll give you some ideas how this stuff goes together in just a second. And another conversion kit that was out there is the Chesapeake Models design T-54 turret. I got one already opened here. So with the Chesapeake Models one, so you get a new replacement turret. So it's got the place where the fan's going to go. So again, you add parts from the SE kit onto this. You have an option how you want to do certain things with these. Because, all right, it's in here. Oh, I can't get out that. So there is a metal gun barrel you can put on. See? And that's the straight, like this one. The original 100mm gun, or 110, I'm trying to remember what it was again, sorry. But that would go in place of the kit cannon. And then, you know, looking up some different options if you want to do a 50-54, like East Germany, you know, Poland. And there's some 55s. Types of 55s that are out there. So, in a nutshell, there's that. So this is a little backdated in a sense that this is like 2003 and some of the other parts are older than that. But now they have, you know, model companies that are doing the T-54 and the T-55 in a multitude of ways. So you can get the Tamiya kit that's fairly new, which also is a combined kit similar to the Italeri boxing. So it would have the T-55A and the regular T-55 and a few other variants. It also includes a Polish and a Czech version, which had different storage configurations on the turret. So that's all in one box. That's the Tamiya one. And you got companies like Tacom and Mini Art that are producing like pretty much every variant of the T-54 and T-55 in existence. They're pretty much cranking those out now, so that's the new stuff. I haven't even looked at those, but they look like they're more complicated or more detailed, you know, more work, but if you're a serious modeler, you probably would revel in them because they look pretty great. And we were talking about this in a previous episode. This is a Dozer Blade. And if you can see the price tag, you can see why I picked that up. It's $3 when I get this at a show for. So this is the Soviet BTU 55 bulldozer blade. I'll give you a quick peek of what this is. I'm a little concerned about this kit. This was $3, but can't be that concerned. The instructions are kind of sparse. So I've looked at a lot of photos online about this device to try to get a better sense of how this is going to go together. And that's something I can do on these other kits, is add this on, because you do have to make some adjustments to the model kit. But it's a bag of resin parts. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. Yeah, research needed. So the instruction sheet is not my favorite. Again, resin, so you'd have to use super glue, which is not the most forgiving material on the planet. So yeah, we'll see about that. But that's an AEF Designs kit out of Denver, and it's, you know, been sitting around for a while. They do have kits now. I think like Trumpeter's making them, where you can buy the kit with the blade and build the whole model, you know, as without having to use the resin aftermarket kit like this. So I think you can get different variants these days. Once again, we are doing this from the Model Building Workshop, Mr. Allen, Smithfield Library, part of the Providence Community Library. Always check out the website, provcomlib.org. So I'm going to take a brief pause here, and we're going to get set up to start working on some of the pieces that would go on this turret. So I'm going to show you how to work with the super glue and the resin in just a moment. So hold on just a second. Okay, and we're back. So I've got the turret here. Got the cannon with the little bracket there, which is going to help for the arms. That's going to adjust the searchlight that will be on the top of the turret. So I'm working with super glue, which again I really don't like using for a multitude of reasons. And I have some of the zip kicker, and this is an accelerator. It helps super glue dry faster. May or may not need that here. And usually what I do is I spray it into a little cup like that, and then I get something like a toothpick. Yeah, toothpick. That's a toothpick. That's a Q-tip. And it's a name brand. Ear cleaners, whatever else they call cotton swab on stick. Anyway, you get the idea. I use something like that. So generally what I do with this is I put a little bit of the accelerator in there. Is it dry already? I hope not. Yeah, looks like it might have. Trying to work very gently with this stuff because it does have a nasty stench. Just a warning. And let me try to get some super glue, which I just opened this bottle. All right. Let's see what happens. Yeah, there's no accelerator. Yes, it did. But there's the problem right there with super glue, is that boom, it's done. That's it. There's not much time for adjustments, not much time to fix anything. You've got to hope you got it right the first time. And, you know, it's very unforgiving. And of course, it's also dangerous because you can glue things together that you don't want to glue together. So, and definitely not for kids. Not even really for adults. All right, so there's the gun barrel. And that's that, because it's not going anywhere now. A lot of test fitting went on before I put that in there, trust me. Okay, so I'm looking at the old 55 kit here. I keep calling it old. I mean, technically it is old, but, you know, I don't want that to be a derogatory term here, because I really enjoy working with some of these kits from yesteryear. I think they're fun. And they're certainly more affordable than some of the new ones. Good grief. Because you can, like I said, I bought a bunch of these like for $3 each at a bargain store. If you try to buy some of the new TACOM kits or the mini art kits, you're talking like $50 to $60 for some of those. Granted, I'm saying it's not worth the money because they're going to be a lot of fun, but I'll take my chances for $3 and picking up some of these. Is, you know, I'm going to come nowhere near that $50 price tag. I'm frugal like that. Okay, so let me find the turret hatch I want. I think I had one set up. One of the issues, you know, because we're doing this stuff, I'm doing it in the basement of a library, and I have to transport stuff back and forth all the time, so I have to try to dig this stuff out and work when I'm working on it. Because a library is such a multi-use building, right? We get a lot going on here. So anyhow, this is how the 55 is coming along at this point. So we're in the home stretch at this stage now. So because here's the hull. The hull has pretty much got everything on it. You know, got the lights there, got the hatches on, spare fuel tank. So we're getting very close. So I'm trying to get a turret. I may not use this particular turret on this. I may use one of those Chesapeake model ones. I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. I'm just having fun of just building it and seeing. But I wanted to show you how one of these multimedia resin kits works, and that it's a possibility to do it for this kit. So I'm still experimenting and thinking about this as I'm building it. So sometimes I'll have a plan for the entire project, and sometimes I like to be a little more flexible, and as I build I think, what about this? What about that? Wouldn't it be cool if I did this? Wouldn't it be cool if I tried that? So sometimes I get into those moods with this stuff. All right, I'm seeing a box full of stuff here. All right, so here are the grab handles, bars that were on the side. So I'm referring to it as a grab handle because I have images of Russian soldiers grabbing onto the tanks, holding onto the railings, and getting a free ride in the battle, which was pretty standard Russian tactic, that they would use the tanks as like a bus or whatever to bring them into the front lines. It's very common. And some armies like doing that, and some strongly discouraged their troops from doing that, because the one downside is the tanks have a tendency to attract a lot of attention on the battlefield, and pretty much every enemy soldier is going to be firing at the tank. So if you're riding on top of a tank, you're kind of open season, you know, so to speak. You may not want to be there, you know, but if you're riding through rough country and you get close to the battle site and you jump off, yeah, that makes sense. But anyway. All right, this looks like I'm going to be tricky to get this grab handle on there. Of course, they also use these as places to store equipment. All right, let's see how it's going to go. All right, this is making me a tad nervous. stuff is still available here. This accelerator dries very quickly. Yeah, it's already dried out. I'll add a little bit here. Yeah, dried very fast. Let's see if I can get some in these holes. This looks like it's going to be a tricky thing to do. As I said, I drilled out the holes on this vehicle. Tried to measure and drill because it didn't really give me too many options. But I am nervous about this because this is not exactly the best fitting design here. No, this is going to be a problem. It did work, but it's a little bit of a tighter fit than I wanted. I think when I work on the Chesapeake model designs turrets, when I put these grab handles on, I may try a different way of trying to mark them on the model. I don't know if I'm going to drill the holes. I might just try to glue them on. But it's looking like I'm going to have to store some gear or storage on these things because they don't quite stick out the way I wanted them to. I think my fit was a little snug. I think I could have been a little more lenient in the amount of space when I drilled those holes in. All right, let's try to see the other one, and I'll put the hatch on here, and basically I think I'll stop there because you're going to get the idea of how this sort of stuff works. This is a little challenging. Not enjoying this all that much. Come on. A little bit of room here. Sorry, I'm just holding this in position. It's a little difficult. Don't have the accelerator on there. Probably could use some because it doesn't seem to want to stick. I'm afraid to let go because I kind of have it where I want it. Patience. Yeah, so they're a little more snug to the tank than they should be. They should be sticking out a little more than they are. But ready before I put this stuff away and dug it back out to do the video. That hatch was floating around, but it's probably buried in the box now. All kinds of other things. Gizmos and doodads and what have you. I've got a pile of wheels. Well, what I might do is I might have to use one of the other kits for now and then remedy that later. I don't see the hatch floating around in the box. Alright. I know there's a spare. Oh, there it is. Hope you enjoyed me going digging. That should be it right there, right? According to the instruction, yes, this is it. Right there, okay. Snip. Snip. Oh, it's an awful lot of flash on this piece. This generally hasn't been bad for that. This piece is covered. Holes are supposed to be drilled out with the hatch here. I don't know. Yeah, they want to cooperate. Dimensions. The hatch is here. There it is. Okay. Luckily, the hatches on these tanks actually do tend to rotate. So if you're slightly off, it's not the worst thing because they would spin a bit. Okay, let's try. This thing's finally, oh, they didn't settle down. Phew, I hate this stuff. Blob, that's a big blob of glue. Oh, no. All right. Definitely sealed it in. Again, like I said, really not a fan of super glue, so not my favorite material for many, many reasons. Okay. Okay, well, that's where that hatch is going, because it's not moving. I think I got it on. I did get on pretty good. Okay, folks, I think we're going to stop there. So there's the turret hatches. So basically, you got a, this is a T-54 turret underway. Just needs a searchlight to go on. And that's and a couple hatches and pretty much there. So that's how you do these resin aftermarket kits. Okay. We'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.